You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
And you are listening to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, August 14th virtual show. Because of COVID-19, our show is temporarily moved virtually. You can listen to our show on podcast, also catch us on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, flying solo today. No co-host, but he'll be back next week. We bring in studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market on everything money. And we are here to help you in today's economy. Now in studio, we have Pierre Frevol of Folrev Photography. Is your face the missing piece of your marketing plan right here at 1150 AM KKNW? Pierre, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tina.
Very excited to have you. And actually, I just had a conversation with Pierre, I think a couple days ago, just needing to get all of my headshots and things updated because it really does make a difference. And when I went out and took a look at his website, the connection that I felt with the people that he has brought to life through photography, I was just really excited to have him come in and showcase his gift on our show. A little bit about Pierre. Pierre is a French portrait. I think that makes it really exciting as well. And headshot photographer with a background in marketing and being the voice of his customers. He owns Folrev Photography, a small brick and mortar portrait studio on Front Street in Issaquah, Washington. Again, Pierre, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And so, Pierre, let's go ahead and start right out with what is a headshot and how is it different from just a selfie?
Good question. Headshot and selfie are all about communicating about ourselves. Just the headshot is on the personal side, so you try to communicate to people you know. Headshot is about who don't necessarily know you or don't know you in an intimate level. So that's the main difference. And then, there's a quality as better frame, better everything done by a professional.
And definitely the gift behind it, Pierre, is the magic, to really be able. Yeah, for some reason, you're cutting out a little bit. So maybe when you're talking, not to move, possibly. We were fine before we started the show, but this is what happens when you do a Facebook Live, Yeah, it's will be great. So what about what's the difference between a portrait and a headshot?
So there is a couple of aspects in there's a couple of views of photography. Photography can be used as a memorandum, so something to remember something. Something else, it can be remember your parking spot, or remember your vacations. That's one thing. The other thing is about celebrating people. Celebration. So portrait is about celebrating someone. So someone in your life, your kid, your high school senior, your wedding, whatever. And the third aspect is the communication. And basically, headshot is a communication tool. It's only a communication tool like a podcast, right? That's the idea.
Yes, and so true. I mean, being able to capture those moments through photo is so important, and to be able to connect back to those memories that you have in that process. Let's switch and talk a little bit about the business side of it and how a headshot can really help you, getting you connected at a higher level with your perfect target market.
Yeah. So first thing you need to know is a headshot is a tool where people will make a judgment on you. So you make a first impression with a headshot. In fact, when you come to my studio, I do this experiment with all my clients, and I show them, headshots up to 1/10 of a second, and I ask them to make a judgment on the person they see on the headshot, and they're completely able to do that, and they don't hesitate to do that. So you make a judgment. So it's completely unconscious, but you make a judgment on people, first impression on people based on their headshot. So if you have a good headshot, it helps a lot to deliver that impression.
Yeah, that first impression is such. Oh, go ahead, Pierre. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then there has been some experiment done across the world that the headshot of a political candidate is the best single predictor of the results of an election. So they're able to manage, the 70% accuracy rate in the result of the gubernatorials in the U.S. Based on a headshot. They have been able to do the national election in France by 70% to the National Assembly in France, 70% just based on a headshot. So it's the best predictor of an election. People choose and make decisions based on just the headshot, because our brain trained to doesn't like to be over the vacuum of information, and doesn't have to have too many informations. So when we get to that stage, we choose by what our brain is designed to do. So judge based on a face.
Well, we know first impression is a lasting impression. So whatever that first connection is that you have through that first image that you see of that person is likely a benefit of the lasting or risk of a lasting, depending on how well that is. So let's talk about what makes a good headshot versus a not so good one.
So the basic of a good headshot is first you need to look confident, because confident convey the message of competency. So if you don't look confident, you're not you're not competent, right? In the eyes of the other person. And the second thing is you need to be approachable. And being approachable, for example, in Asia and here in the West Coast in Seattle, is a little bit different. People are more likely to have a big bright smile here than they would do in Asia. But the idea is the same. So you need to be approachable and you need to be competent. That's the basic. Then it needs to look like you. It needs to be actual. So it's not you like it were 20 years ago, because when someone will see you in real life, they will have, there is a disconnect, a big disconnect between what they saw you before and what they see you before, then they will lose trust on you. So that's the four main important aspect of it.
Yeah, and I'd imagine too that would definitely come into a possible question in integrity level if you look a lot different than what your headshot does. Yeah, you'll see my headshot rocking some bangs, and it has been a few years, and that's why I have connected with Pierre to update my headshot. As your host, got to improve on things as well. So Pierre, let's talk about how you can measure the effectiveness of what that new headshot is doing for you and your business.
So first, there are tools to measure the effectiveness of headshot. So you can there are tools online where you can submit your headshot, and they will send that to anonymous people, and they will rate the headshot or headshots you have to help you choose the one which might make the best sense. There are AI-based solutions also that do something like that. They're all based on the idea that that you meet the four criteria I told you. Or you can try. You can trust your photographer actually. If it's someone who is doing mostly headshot, you can trust him because he knows a little bit what a headshot tells to people. So when I do headshot with my clients, I always spend time with them reviewing the headshots. I'm not choosing for them because they need to love their headshot, and that's the most very important part of it. So from the headshot they love, I can tell them, what does this headshot tells about you? And it might be, you're more friendly here, or you look more confident here, or you seem more open to discussion here, you seem more affirmative here. So these kind of things that can help us.
Yeah, definitely trust the expertise of the person that you're hiring to capture that perfect headshot. So what if someone comes to you, Pierre, and says, I'm not photogenic?
So about 80% of the population think they're not photogenic. So the first thing is no one cares if you're not photogenic. So when you do a headshot, people are not looking at how cute you are. They're looking about what confidence and approachability. That's the first thing. Second thing is, if you have a good photographer, it will make you confident in the process, and so you will look confident, and you will look photogenic. Photogenic means I'm not photogenic means I'm not confident in myself in the way I look. So photographer is here to help you with that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like when somebody says, I don't want to get on video because I don't like the way that I look on video. The reality is how we look on video is how we look face to face. So same thing in a photograph. It is a picture of who you are, and people are seeing you face to face all the time. So you definitely want to rock that beautifulness that we all have. So Pierre, what about how often should you update your headshot? I'm afraid of your answer here.
So there are different stage. So if you're an actor, so actors need to, for example, to update their headshot every year to every 2 years. That's a recommended industry standard. For professional, it's basically 2 to 3 years is the ideal. So you leave it more time than actors.
Okay, good. It's not every year, so that's a good thing. I'm still a little bit behind. So we've got a minute left here. I just want to ask you 2 really quick questions. What's the typical investment for a headshot? And what is one tip that you can give our listeners when getting ready for a headshot?
So, the budget for headshots start at $200 typically, $250 for photographers here in Seattle. And it goes up to whatever, $700, $800, depending on how much image you want and the kind of processing you want and the conditions, the kind of the notoriety of the photographer. All these kind of things play into a role. So between $200 and $700. And the best tip I give for people coming there is that come relax and have a good night's sleep the night before, because you need that. That's the best way to be confident in yourself and to be relaxed and to smile and to be happy. That's it.
Great tip. And yeah, so reach out to Pierre. You can connect with any of our guests on the show by going to themoneyhour.com or reaching out via phone, 1-855-400-1150, and take a look at Pierre's website. I love the photo that you've got with one of your clients where you have 3 different expressions for her. She's serious, she's having fun, and this is all in headshots. So I think that's what I want to do for mine. I really love that. And what a great way to connect on the different personalities that we have. So thank you for coming in, and thank you to each of you for being here and sharing your gift, your passion, and your expertise with our listeners here on 1150 AM KKNW.
Thank you.
And this is your host signing off for the day, local mortgage expert right here in Seattle, Washington. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and your weekend. We look forward to talking more money with you next weekend, and Keelan will be back right here at 1150 AM KKNW.